hateful, jealousy-fueled attack on the black town of Rosewood, Florida in 1923 by massive white mobs. The town was completely decimated and burned to the ground. The people of Rosewood would never return, and many left with only the clothes on their backs. In 1845, Rosewood was originally inhabited by both blacks and whites. Subsequent Jim Crow laws following the Civil War cultivated segregation in Rosewood as it did in most of the South. Many of Rosewood's residents worked at pencil factories. However, the cedar tree population used to make pencils soon became decimated and white families moved away in the 1890s. The white families settled in the nearby town of Sumner. By the 1920s, Rosewood's population of about 200 occupants was almost entirely black except for one white family that ran a general store. On January 1, 1923 in Sumner, Florida, 22-year-old Fannie Taylor was heard screaming by a neighbor. Taylor was covered in bruises, claiming that a black man had broken in and raped her. In reality, Taylor was beaten up by her lover while her husband was at work. Fannie Taylor's husband, James Taylor, a foreman at the local mill, intensified the situation by whipping up angry mobs to hunt down this imaginary black man. James Taylor also called for help from white residents in neighboring counties. Among them, was a group of about 500 Ku Klux Klan members who were in Gainesville for a rally. The mob combed the area searching for any black man they could find. Coincidentally, a black prisoner named Jesse Hunter had escaped a chain gang. He was instantly designated as the offender. The mobs became convinced that he was being hidden by the black residents of Rosewood. Another mob showed up at the home of blacksmith Sam Carter, torturing him until he admitted that he was hiding Hunter and agreed to take them to where Hunter was. Carter led them into the woods, but when Hunter didn't come out, Sam Carter was shot dead. His body was hung from a tree. A number of people, mostly children, had taken refuge in the home of Sarah Carrier. On the night of January 4th, armed white men surrounded the house thinking that Jesse Hunter was hiding there. Shots were fired and a gun battle broke out. Sarah Carrier was shot in the head and died. Her son Sylvester was also shot and killed. 2 white attackers were also killed. The gun battle and standoff ended when the door was broken down by the white attackers. The children escaped to safety through the back and hid in the woods. News of the standoff at the Carrier house circulated like wildfire. Newspapers inflated the number dead and falsely reported that bands of armed black citizens were going on a rampage. More white men swarmed into the area believing that a race war had broken out. Churches were burned and people were shot dead as they tried to escape their burning homes. On a redeeming bright note, there were those that found help from white families willing to shelter